Welcome to Worldwide Crime Files, the channel where we uncover the darkest truths hiding behind ordinary lives, where the most disturbing crimes aren't discovered by detectives, but by the people who trusted the wrong person. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to real cases from around the world, stories that prove evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a husband, a co-worker, a man you think you know. Tonight's case is one of those stories. It begins not with police sirens or a criminal tip, but with a wife who suspected her husband was cheating. What she found instead would expose a secret so disturbing it would lead to a felony conviction, prison time, and a life forever destroyed. But this is the case of Mark Labelle. For many couples, suspicion starts quietly. A shift in behavior, a phone that never leaves their hand, a distance that didn't exist before. Mark Labelle was 35 years old, living in Michigan, married, and employed as a maintenance worker for Cedar Springs Public Schools. On paper, his life appeared stable, predictable, normal. But inside his home, something wasn't right. His wife noticed changes, subtle at first, but impossible to ignore. He became more guarded with his phone, more distant, less transparent. She did what countless partners have done before her. She suspected cheating, and one day, driven by that suspicion, she decided to look. When Mark's wife accessed his phone, she wasn't searching for criminal evidence. She wasn't playing detective. She was looking for confirmation of infidelity, messages, photos, conversations that would explain the emotional distance she had been feeling. Instead, she came across disturbing content. Images that immediately told her this was no private marital issue. This was something far worse. The material was so alarming that she didn't hesitate. She didn't confront him. She didn't second-guess herself. She contacted the Kent County Sheriff's Department immediately. In that moment, her suspicion of cheating transformed into the beginning of a criminal investigation. Detectives moved swiftly. Mark Labelle's electronic devices were seized, including his laptop and phone. Investigators initiated a full forensic analysis, the kind designed to uncover what people believe they've hidden forever. What they found was deeply disturbing. On Labelle's laptop alone, investigators discovered more than 100 illegal images. The material was not just criminal. Some of it had already been flagged by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, an organization that works closely with law enforcement to identify and report the most serious offenses involving exploitation. This was not an isolated incident. This was a pattern of behavior. Unlike physical evidence, digital evidence tells a story. Files don't lie, metadata doesn't forget, and forensic tools can recover content long after someone believes it's gone. The examination of Mark Labelle's devices painted a clear picture for investigators. One that aligned with what his wife had discovered on his phone. The evidence was overwhelming. And when detectives sat down with Labelle for questioning, there was no dramatic denial, no elaborate cover story. During questioning, Mark Labelle admitted to having an addiction. He consented to a full forensic examination of his electronics, a move that would only strengthen the case against him. There was no attempt to blame someone else, no claim of misunderstanding, no denial of the evidence, just an acknowledgement, and the reality that his private digital life had finally been exposed. With the evidence in hand, prosecutors moved forward. Mark Labelle ultimately pled no contest to aggravated possession of illegal material, a plea that, in the eyes of the court, carried the same weight as a guilty verdict. He was sentenced to prison and transferred to Newberry Correctional Facility in Michigan, where he remains incarcerated today. His earliest possible parole date is April 2027, but the maximum length of his sentence stretches much further, all the way to April 2035. For a man who once lived a quiet, unremarkable life, the future is now measured in years behind bars. As news of the arrest spread, attention quickly turned to Labelle's place of employment. Cedar Springs Public Schools released a statement confirming that Mark Labelle did not work directly with students. They also stated that he was placed on administrative leave immediately after the district learned of the investigation. While there was no evidence suggesting direct contact with students, the case sent shockwaves through the community, a reminder of how close danger can exist without being seen. What makes this case especially chilling is how it began. Not with a cybercrime task force, not with a tip from an online watchdog, not with law enforcement monitoring activity. It began with a wife trusting her instincts, a moment of suspicion, and the courage to act, when what she found went far beyond betrayal. Many people might have looked away, might have convinced themselves it was a mistake, might have stayed silent. She didn't, and because of that decision, a pattern of criminal behavior was exposed. And stopped. Cases like this challenge the way we think about danger. Mark Labelle was not a stranger lurking in the shadows. He was a husband, a co-worker, a maintenance worker at a public school, someone who blended into everyday life until the truth hidden behind a screen was revealed. It's a stark reminder that the most disturbing crimes don't always announce themselves with violence or chaos. Sometimes they exist quietly. I'm protected by secrecy, familiarity, and trust. For his wife, the discovery shattered more than a marriage. It rewrote her understanding of the person she shared her life with. For the community, it reinforced a hard truth, that vigilance doesn't end at appearances. And for Mark Labelle, the consequences of his actions will follow him long after his sentence ends. This case is not just about crime, it's about how easily evil can hide in everyday life, about how technology can become a mask, and how quickly that mask can fall, and about the power of one decision, one person choosing to act when something feels wrong. If you're watching this and thinking, this could never happen near me, remember, many people thought the same, until it did. Thank you for watching Worldwide Crime Files. If you want more real cases where the truth is darker than fiction, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story might be closer than you think.